Hello and welcome to a tutorial. Now in this tutorial, what we're going to be doing is using Wyze Sense to turn on our lights, but only at night. So this is using an API. It's actually a server that somebody created for this purpose. He calls it an API. I didn't make this, so someone on Reddit did. So here's how this is going to work. So I have this URL code in this Reddit post, in the Facebook post. You're going to go to IFT. So you need both a Wyze motion sensor and an IFT for this, an IFT account for this. So first we're going to My Applets in an IFT. We're going to create a new applet, and we need to create two of these. One for your lights on, and one for lights off. So for this part, we're going to look up webhooks, and we're going to receive a webhook request. And we're going to name that anything you want, but make sure that it does not have spaces in it, and it will work in a URL. So lights on is an example. And we're going to create trigger for that. And then that will be whatever your light service is. So let's say you have, Philips Hue or whatever. You're gonna use that. I have Wink, so I'm gonna select Wink. And then activate shortcut. And then whatever shortcut you want, and you hit create action. Now it's going to say receive notifications when this app runs. If you have this on your if you have IFT on your phone, it's going to send you notifications every time this runs if you keep this on. So I recommend turning it off. I already have this one created, so I don't want to create it again. So we're going to do this basically this exact same thing once again. Go to webhooks, receive a web request, name the event light off, and then do the same thing. Just select your light off shortcut. And once you've done all that, go back to My Applets, and we need to create two more applets. And again, these are going to be very similar. So for this part, you're going to search for Wyze, select Wyze, and select when your motion sensor detects motion. And it's going to give you a list of your motion sensors. Start with create trigger, and then go for that. And then we're going to select webhooks once again and make a webhook request this time instead of receiving one. So you're going to go to either the Reddit post or the URL code in my Facebook post, and you're going to paste that in the URL section. Now, a couple things you're going to need to do is get GPS coordinates, and you can do that from this website. I'm not going to click it because it's going to show my GPS coordinates, and obviously I don't want to show those publicly. So you're going to fill that out, and then for the event on part, you're going to name that whatever you named your lights on event. Now, we don't want the rest of this because we don't want the lights to turn off on a delay. If you do want that, then you can leave this part and you can fill the rest of this out and leave it as is. But if you want the motion sensor to turn your lights off when it stops detecting motion, then you're going to want to listen to the rest of this tutorial. So again, if you just wanted to turn off at a delay, then you can fill out the rest of this and put your event off as your light off, and then your minutes. But maybe you don't want that. So what we're going to do is we don't actually need the event off in the delay portions of this. So we can actually delete that. So start by selecting the first ampersand and then end at the last curvy bracket at the end of the delay, and delete that section. So now all we have left is the event on the event name, and then ampersand, and then if token, and then this section here. Now for the if token, what you're going to need to do is go back to IFT again, select My Applets, and select one of your webhook applets, and go to webhooks, and then hit settings here. And I'm not going to do this because it will show my token, but what you'll see is very similar to the screen. It'll show your name, and then right here you'll see this URL, and this last slash after that, around the blurred portion of the screen, will be your token. So select that, not the whole URL, just after this last slash and the rest of it, and then copy that and paste it in the token portion. And then we're going to select post is our method, and we're going to save this by selecting create action to make sure you appropriately turn off the notifications if you don't want those. Now, after you're done doing this, we're going to do this whole process again, this exact same process again, and we're going to create a new one. And this time it'll be when the Wyze motion sensor, or the Wyze motion sensor clears. Okay, and then we're going to do this exact same stuff. And for event on, we're going to then select the name, or type in the name of our event that we created in if for the lights off. Okay, and then we're going to filter the rest of this. Now, again, let's say for whatever reason, you don't want your lights turning off immediately after the motion sensor clears. It does take like a few seconds or maybe a minute even for the motion sensor to fully clear. So it's not like if you have the motion sensor mounted in the right spot and everything, this should work perfectly well. But let's say for whatever reason you want to actually wait. You actually want the lights to turn on and stay on even when the motion's cleared for a period of time. Well, then you can put all this back in here. So just go back and copy the full URL, and you can take the event on portion. You can leave this how it is, as is, I believe. I haven't tested this, so if you want to do this, then you'll have to test this on your own. I believe this will work though. Again, fill all the other portions of this, but then only put out the event off and put that as your lights off. And then the delay, set that in whatever minutes you want. So let's say it's 5, and then put your token in. And I think what will happen then is, once the sensor clears, it'll then trigger in a non-existent event on, which won't do anything, and then it'll wait, and then it'll trigger the lights off after your delay. So that's how you do this. If you have any other questions, you can go ahead and post them. Thanks for watching.